Have you ever noticed that life is kind of like a river? You flow along each day, and there's rapids and there's turns and there's undertow and there's currents. And you find out you're going in the directions maybe you don't want to go, and maybe life's taking you on this journey that you never signed up for. And usually it's because of your negative thinking and your negative patterns you get into, and you don't even know they're happening. You're just pulled along by the current. And life is like inertia, and the momentum of your life just takes you in one direction. But it's not necessarily where you intended to go or what you focused on. You're just kind of surprised when things don't work out. But in essence, you really have focused your life on what you don't want. Like you're in the rapids most of the time in your life, or you're underwater, you're under financially, you're under emotionally, under spiritually. But you can control your life. You can control what happens in your life. It's really important that you take charge of that emotion. You know that you have the power. You have the power to change your life. You can get off the currents. You can get off the rapids. You can dock for a while. So it's really important that you focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. There's a great story of Buddha, and Buddha was challenged one day by this villager that had traveled miles and miles. You've probably heard this story before, but it's one of my favorite stories about living in the moments that you want and choosing better things than what's showing up in your life. So this traveler followed Buddha, found out where he was living, traveled far and wide, found him, and was just berating him with questions and telling him how terrible he was, and he's not a great teacher, and who are you to think you're so amazing, and just making fun of him and trying to embarrass him in front of his people. And Buddha was unshaken. He was unmoved. He just stood there and waited for the guy to finish. And once he finished, he says, "May I ask you a question?" And the traveler says, "Yes, what?" He says, "If I refuse to take your abuse and take all your hate and all your negativity, to whom does it belong to? If someone offers me a gift and I don't accept that gift, to whom does the gift belong to?" And the traveler says, "Well, I guess it belongs to the person that offered the gift." And Buddha says, "Yes. So if I refuse to accept your abuse, your hate, to whom does it belong to?" And then the traveler hung his head and walked away. That's life, right? You don't have to take on the things you don't want. You could live like a kung fu master, like Buddha. You take the energy, and some people take it on, and they decide that, I gotta, be compassionate to this person or take on the empathetic position for this person. In essence, you're taking on their energy, you're taking on their negativity, you're taking on their problems, and that's no way to help somebody. That's no way to be of service to somebody. I believe we're all here to be of service. You have to live like Buddha, like a kung fu master. People's energy comes in. It should go through you. You should redirect the energy. There's no need to take it on. I've been guilty of that most of my life growing up. I am a pleaser. There's certain kinds of people in life. I want to have no conflict in my life. I want to help people feel better, but I'm not helping anybody. You cannot help a homeless person by being homeless. There's no way to help a hungry person by you starving. You have to be better. You have to lift up yourself. Your spirit has to rise. So when this negativity comes into you, you redirect it like a kung fu master. You don't take it on. When you change it, the journey you're on, the river you're flowing on, you have a choice. You can take that ship with the rudder and direct it how you want, but it's focusing on what you want that brings it into your life. Leonardo da Vinci had a famous quote. He says, "Learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else." So when you show up to life, and life will show up to you, basically whatever shows up in your life is by virtue of the law of attraction. You've earned it, you've owned it, you've attracted it in your life. When you can focus on that, when you can realize that, if I take responsibility for what's showing up in my life, then I have power over it. In the present moment, you take that present moment awareness and you realize that I earned this. This showed up. This is what I was focused on. This is how my life is right now. Take responsibility for it. You can change your stars. When you take the power back from that negative emotion, from that negative spirit, the spirit that showed up in your life basically is part of you because it's what showed up. There's a great quote from an anonymous author that says, "Accept whatever comes into your life, woven in the pattern of your destiny. What could more aptly suit your needs?" It shows up in your life for a reason. Actually, Marcus Aurelius said that quote. It just came to me. Marcus Aurelius was a very wise ruler who had spiritual wealth, worldly wealth, social wealth. He was an abundant. He was a leader. He taught people how to have abundance in their life through his example. So I offer it up to you. Take back your power. Don't get sucked into the river. When things aren't going your way, when you feel like the negativity of your day is sucking you down, pulling you underwater, and your focus just stacks and stacks and stacks on what you don't want, change it. Focus on what you do want. It's available in the room with you. What's wrong is there, and so is what's right. So you make a choice, a physical, emotional, physiological choice to change your body, to change your thinking, to change your focus, more importantly. Because energy flows where focus goes. It's been said many times. The law of attraction is never broken. You get in your life what you think about all day long, whether you like it or not. So why not focus on what you want? It's been my great journey in my life to learn through the law of attraction, through my experiences in life, of what shows up, and then take responsibility for it. When it's not what you want, own it. Know that it's not you, it's just your focus. You've brought into your life all kinds of abundance, and sometimes all kinds of maladies or ailments. You've got to own them all. You got to take responsibility for them all. Don't feel like it was just an accident. I don't believe in accidents. I believe everything has a purpose, everything has a reason. And usually the reason's here to teach you something, to show you something that can change your life and make you better. The hard things that show up in your life sometimes don't seem like they have a meaning, other than they're hard, or they're taking you out of where you want to go. Learn the lesson. Learn that there's something in there. There's a message in the hard times, a message in your life that's always there to teach you something. A point of view that focuses on where can I go from here, not where I don't want to go from here. Usually it's easier to go the other way. It's much easier to feel sad and lonely and stuck in depression or negativity because it's comfortable, it's easy. It's hard sometimes to get that energy, to get that courage to rise up and to focus on something other than what's happening. Focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. The quickest way to get out of doubt is through your imagination. You use your imagination to focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. You think from the end instead of about the end. There's a big difference. Focusing on what you want in the present moment and imagining it happening in this present moment helps you get out of doubt because you'll focus on something other than what's happening now. And in that moment, by virtue of the law of attraction, if your energy is in line with what you want, if you align yourself with what you really want and what you can imagine, and more importantly, what you can feel in that moment, by virtue of the law of attraction, it'll be drawn into you. You'll be like a magnet. It'll magnetize what you want. And that will take you out of doubt. That will take you out of fear. As Leonardo da Vinci said, learn how to see. Realize that everything is connected to everything else. There is no accidents. You can change your stars when you focus on what you want.